How to buy a domain name with Monero. If you care about privacy, this is one of those things that sounds simple but usually isn't, because most domain registrars want your name, address, phone number, and a credit card. Registering a domain often means permanently tying your identity to something that's publicly visible and difficult to undo later. In this video, I'm going to show a real end-to-end example of how I bought a domain name using Monero, what information was actually required, how the payment works, and why it's a great option if you want to keep your identity separate from your domain registration. This video was made based on a poll run on x.com, where people asked to see a real example, not just a list of services, but the full process from start to finish. Before getting into the steps, it helps to understand what's actually needed at a high level. To privately register a domain, you need a registrar that accepts Monero and control over your DNS so you can decide where the domain actually points later. In this example, the only personal information required is an email address, and the entire purchase is paid using Monero. I start by going to monerica.com, which is a Monero-only directory. From there, I filter to verified web hosting providers that also offer domain registration. From the list, I select My Box, which offers domain registration and accepts Monero. Once on My Box, I go to the domain name section and search for the domain I want, which is moneropricenow.com. The search shows the domain is available, priced at €15 for a year. I add it to the cart and continue the checkout. During the checkout, I'm asked about name servers. I leave them set to the default for now, since you can change this later. I then create an account. The only information required is an email address and password. No name, no physical address, no phone number, just an email. For payment, I select BTCPay server. In this case, it includes Monero as a payment option. I agree to the terms, complete the checkout, and I'm taken to a payment invoice. I click Pay Now, then I select Monero. From there, I send the Monero transaction. After one confirmation on the blockchain, the invoice updates and allows me to return to the site, where it confirms that the payment was successful. I then check my email and see a message explaining that domain names are reviewed manually and that this usually takes up to 24 hours. When I log into my account, I can see the domain I ordered, but it isn't active yet. That's expected. I wait until the next day. The next day, I log back into my inbox and see that the domain is now active. I go to the option to change the name servers, choose custom name servers, and enter one that I've already set up in Cloudflare. I save the changes. Inside Cloudflare, I point the A record to a server I've already configured to respond to moneropricenow.com. After about an hour, once DNS propagation finishes, I visit the domain in my browser. The site loads and displays a simple index page confirming the domain was paid for using Monero. At a high level, this shows that all you need to privately register a domain is an email address and Monero. The registrar handles the backend registration, payment processing, and domain management. Your role is simply deciding where the domain points to. Once the domain is registered, new decisions come into play. You need to choose where you want to host your site, which name servers you want to rely on long term, how you want to secure it, and how you want people to find it. Hosting, DNS architecture, performance, backups, and marketing all come up after this step. Buying the domain privately is the foundation. It enables everything else that you might want to build on top of it later. Thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to see additional ways to use your domain, such as hosting a website or using a payment processor, check out other videos on this channel.